All right, so as I was just saying, it's going to be a test, 40 questions, answer them all. The stuff covered is going to be everything up to, but not including, the aero tolerance lab. The only thing I might expect you to know about the aero tolerance lab that I could reasonably see is asking a question is if at this, which inoculation did you do yesterday?
C.
T. Correct. And what's that called?
Spot.
I might ask which of these pictures shows a spot inoculation. You should be able to answer that, I think. All right. Other than that, like safety, lab conduct, lab rules, that's always fair game. If it's like milliliters, nanoliters, I expect basic people to know. This is microbiology, so just go down. So if you know, so liters or whatever, and centa, micro, millet, or sorry, cent, millet, micro, and nano. All this, all you really need to know. All right, and the easy way to do this is like scientific notation again. So nano is 10 to the negative 9th, 10 to the negative 6th, 10 to the negative 2nd. Okay. So I'm asking you unit conversion. If I do anything about volume, I can see the questions online. It says a cube, so it's not like any sort of formulas we need to have. All right. So scientific, I think that you don't need calculators to solve all these problems. All the tests I've ever given, I could definitely do without a calculator. Some people couldn't spell their name without a calculator. Anyway. I think it'd be pretty easy to put like a Bluetooth chip in your calculator about texting to people the whole time or whatever. But anyway, I don't think anyone's going to do that. I don't think there's any way you can really cheat with a calculator. So if it's just a calculator, but not like a cell phone, that has a calculator on it. I don't think you need one at all. If you need one, you can probably borrow it from someone else. Only come in math classes. And so, really important, I think, for everyone to. So, what the really easy questions for people that are probably the ones where you look at these pictures. These are just snap judgments, and you should be able to get the right answer really easily. So, I just started doing, like last year, really, I started doing adapted questions from the textbook and put those in. People don't do well on those typically. I think it's because. One reason I suspect it's because they're like, so I don't tend to change my questions a lot. I don't memorize the answer though. So I might, if I say before which of the following is anaerobic, now the next exam is going to say which of the following is aerobic. All right, so question style will probably be very similar, except the stuff that I'm not writing is coming from the book. That's the book stuff. All right. I think that's the main stuff that I wanted to say off the top. Bring a pencil. You can bring a calculator. 40 questions. Make sure you fill them all out on the Scantron. Make sure you until the test begins, and then it asks if one of these is purple or pink or blue or red or something like that. Yeah. Questions. Yes. Right on this image sheet, which is asking about these pictures here, they are going to be on the image sheet that's handed out. It's just easier for me to keep handing out the same images over and over, but there won't be any test questions about this on this exam, about this stuff. Probably also not about Z on the back side. On the side that you're probably not responsible for plate Z. Other questions? If you look through the lab exercise, see there's really only one or two, or from my perspective, there's only one or two questions per lab exercise off the multiple choice question. So you should focus on the other ones for your purposes. Other questions? One other warning: these images is so like if we look at is that or a spore negative? You don't know. You have to look at what. On question 1, it might be suppose this is a gram stain. Is it positive or negative? On question 2, it might say suppose this is a spore stain. Is it positive or negative? Okay, so just pictures or just the picture? I ask whatever I want about it. It's not an English test. Sometimes people have like questions about the questions or like agonize over stuff like that. So first of all, it's usually your first thought is probably the true one. Second of all, you can ask for clarification. If it's a vocabulary word, we can't tell you, but a lot of times the best way to ask is to rephrase it. So if like choice C says the stars, I don't know, you can say, would this also include the sun, right? Or I don't know, something like that. And then we can say yes or we can say no. Please don't copy on the exam. I'm sure people copy on every based on statistics, but we like catch several people red-handed every semester. And it's just stupid because you're going to get a 0 on the exam. You're going to drop a letter grade in the class, and no exam performance. Like you can get a 50% on the exam and still be okay. If you fail it, you're not. Or if you plagiarize it, you're not. Other questions? Hey, if they want to leave, by the way, it's not like everyone's trapped here until. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on the old exam, on number 14, it says to observe bacterial colony morphology, which we require total magnification of. It says 1x. How difficult would the objective lenses already done?
So this one, about 50% of people miss every time. But the difference is colony morphology and cellular morphology. So colony, round, things like this. You can see this on the plate. So you can see it with your naked eyes. And that's one where the next time I ask the question, I change it and write cellular morphology, and everyone misses it. Right? Too many people miss it. Read carefully if I say cellular or colony. I will ask. Cellular is tiny, colony is big. You guys all got your reports figured out? Okay. Other questions? The questions in the book, they have a variety of answers that are just going all different directions. Clearly, those are not going to be on the multiple choice test. A detail like how many seconds should the safranin stay on, not going to be on the test. A general tip I'd give you for any sort of science test is try to put yourself at the point of the question. Okay, so suppose I say, imagine that a C. sporogenes spore is picked up out of fluid thioglycolate in a micropipetter and then placed on. When you're reading this question, you should pretend like you're a little spore sitting there moving out and put down. Try to think of what's really going on to you. What's happening to you? Like the if I say this is not this class, but whatever. In a protein that's found in the paraplasmic space, then all of a sudden you want to think of yourself as amino acid. You're outside the cell, so make sure you kind of position yourself where the question's asking you to be. Other questions? Lots of people showed up. So there's going to be people who get come up right after everyone leaves and ask me questions. It's better to ask now because other people have the same question. Yes.
What's that? Like I have read pages, so I have to fill it out completely.
So you should. The important thing. So in reality, if you're writing a science paper, citations, and you use EndNote, it's like a program, and so And so if you want to send the paper that you wrote into Science, you do a Science format. How you do that? You click on EndNote, you click Science, and it reformats it. And so then you guys, all you do is click on EndNote Nature, and it reformats it for you. Blah blah blah. So, and how do you get all these citations? You actually just click download citation when you're on the page that had the paper. So in other words, I don't think it's worth that much time for us to spend on like formatting citations or trying to deal with the fine stuff in citations. What we do want to have though is something that we can. You got to link the whole. Provide us the whole link, and that way, if you say crazy stuff, we can click on the link and see. That's why you were saying the crazy stuff.
So that's fine.
That's fine, but you should only use trust information. It's hard to figure out. You got to just kind of use your own discretion some. But one time, some people had this crazy information. They showed me the website. It looked really good. It was like Thieves or something. But it was all wrong. It looked great, but it was wrong. And it finally turned out it was like this kid, like a high school junior, and had been in a computer programming class. And that was a computer programming project. Like microbiology college students all copied his stuff, and he had no idea. And anyway, and they didn't look at what Thieves was at the website. So yeah, don't trust everything. Yeah. Can you tell me the question? All right, okay, what was the question? Yeah. Okay. So fix in science does not mean repair. It means stick or stabilize. So like you fix gum onto the door, like that. Okay. So when you cells, you're immobilizing them. You make them stay on the slide. If a plant or a bacteria in a plant, for example, performs nitrogen fixation, it's taking the nitrogen out of the air, making it solid, immobilizing it. Oh, guys, something it's pretty tiny, but make sure you never mark. If there, like last summer, I had 0.1 millimeters, and I also had 100 micrometers on the question. They're the same, numerically the same, but just choose one. If you choose both, it screws the whole thing up. Just choose one. That's the answer.
Yeah, I have a question for
Sure.
my the morphological unknown.